Becoming Grandpa Spud, lessons from a new life that entered my world. She was barely a week old when I held her for the first time for more than just a few minutes. Her skin was soft, her eyes were heavy and sleepy, tiny lips, tiny hands. And she was warm, the kind of warmth you only get from a newborn. Only a newborn carries that warmth. I fed her and she rested on my chest. Wow, that rest on my chest made me connect. 45 minutes passed, maybe an hour, and something strange really happened during that time. Time just slowed down. No phone, no schedule, no social media, just me and this newborn. No business decisions, just a tiny life against my chest. And while I sat there holding my granddaughter, something shifted inside of me. It was peaceful. I had humility, perspective. Because in that moment, I realized something very clearly. This little girl doesn't care about my achievements, my schedule, or my ambitions. She only cares that I'm here. She only cares that she hears my voice. And really looking back, that's probably all our kids will ever care about, is us being there. And that moment changed me. And it reminded me there's something something far greater than my own ambitions. I've been on vacation. I wouldn't call it vacation. I'm playing a golf tournament. And this moment with my new grandbaby girl just kept spinning over in my head. And I really needed to post a podcast before I left, and I didn't, and I had to do it. I had to get it out of there. So I'm in the hotel room, I'm doing this, and I decided to record it tonight. And it's not my normal studio, of course, but we're doing it anyway. And so welcome to the Fibers of Life and Business. My name is Spud, otherwise known as Joe Watkins, and the grandfather of my new baby granddaughter. Normally I plan these episodes maybe a little more carefully, but this one felt different because when a new life enters the world, sometimes the lesson is too powerful to wait. And if I didn't capture this reflection right now, I might miss it. I might miss what I'm feeling right now. So one of the things I've been thinking about is when you feel something that's powerful, you got to do it now. Because as you know, you can sleep on it and it'll be gone. The scriptural anchor of this today's show is a passage, Philippians 2:3-4. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourself, not looking to your own interest, but each of you to the interest of others. Holding my grandfather forced me to slow down enough to hear this message. What came to mind was really being selfish is just selfish. That when you hold a newborn baby in your arms and a new life enters the world, you realize that it ain't about you. It ain't all about you and your problems and your drive and what you're trying to accomplish and what you're trying to earn and what you're trying to buy. And that's what I love about the cycle of life. Even when an older life passes away, some of the same things come through me. I love going to funerals now, but for that same reason. A new life comes in, new perspective. An old life leaves this world, a new perspective. Life constantly pulls us back towards ourselves, our goals, our plans, our ambitions. But Scripture reminds us that meaning often appears when we shift our focus away from ourselves. That's what that Scripture's talking about. And toward the people God places in front of us. Right now, that includes this tiny grandbaby girl, which I would show you a picture of her, but that wouldn't be fair to the family. There's another verse that captures this moment beautifully too, and you may have heard this one, Proverbs 17:6. Children's children are a crown to the aged. I love that phrase, a crown, not a burden, not an obligation, a crown. Grandchildren are a part of our reward in life. They're also part of a responsibility of legacy for us. Because at some point, our purpose shifts. We move from creating success to cultivating significance and legacy. And that definitely has begun. And I think any of you that are sitting in midlife understand that's where we're at. And I think my show, the more and more I think about it, is going to point more and more towards folks that are sitting in the same pattern, same part of life that I am. Holding her also made me realize something else. Grandparenting requires a transition. When you're a parent, you're responsible for everything. You're making decisions, you're guiding the home. But when you're a grandparent, you step into a little bit different role. You step back. You watch your children become parents, and your role becomes something very new and different. You're supportive. It's wisdom. It's presence. That realization made me think about the idea of reconciliation, because how many of you out there right now are not connected to your grandkid or your kid or a very close relationship? Maybe it's even a close friend. And so if you're listening today and you're a grandparent who doesn't currently have a relationship with your grandchild, let me encourage you. Relationships matter and time moves fast. It's never too late to reach out. No matter how distant it feels, no matter how complicated the situation is, there's always an opportunity to reconnect. I did an episode called Reconciliation on my previous podcast called The Big Truths of Small Business. It was one of the most powerful episodes we did. And anytime a transition in life happens, in this case for me, it's becoming a grandparent. And it's only been a little over a week. The reflective period, that time that you pause and reflect about who you are and why you are, it always makes me think about, who have I not thought about? Who have I not called? Who have I not poured into? If you have one of those people, just take the opportunity. Who in your life needs presence right now? So I always do a fibers of life section of the episode that's going to tie a fiber or two. I'm going to remind you of all 6 fibers here. It's an acronym: financial, intellectual, biological, emotional, relational, and spiritual. And this one really hits emotional and relational. And the previous episode did too. These must be very important to me right now. In the relational fiber, that moment the granddaughter strengthened this fiber. As soon as she came into this life, she strengthened this fiber for me immediately. It just reminds me what really matters in life is relationships, important relationships. And with a baby girl, you grow that relationship through just your presence, just me being there. Just the smell, just the sound of my voice, just me looking to her eyes. It's just incredible. No multitasking, no rushing, just being there, holding a child, listening to someone, sharing time. Legacy is built in these quiet moments. The secondary fiber is, again, the emotional fiber. I think it touches this one pretty deeply. There's something deep about grounding in humility. Holding new life puts it all into perspective. You realize the world doesn't revolve around you. Of course, we know that. But we have to be reminded often, as the scriptural anchor says, think about others and not yourself. And strangely enough, that realization is freeing because connection brings peace. Gratitude brings clarity. And slowing down creates the memories that anchor us. Let's say that again. Slowing down creates memories that anchor us later in life. I got a good friend of mine that talks a lot about, let's go create a memory. Wherever we're doing something, let's go create a memory. Let's do something unique. And I've sort of adopted that because a memory, creating something that puts a stake in the ground and helps us recognize what happened then. You're not just doing the same thing over and over again. Helps. And for me, this podcast and talking about my grandbaby girl is going to anchor this memory about her in that small, week-old stage even more. So let's slow it down. When we weave these fibers together intentionally, we create a stronger legacy for the people who come after us. There's no doubt. One more thought. This podcast may never go viral. And honestly, that's okay. I'm fine with that. I don't think numbers is the most important thing for impact. Maybe it's the depth of the reach. My son told me that, what if this entire podcast, no matter how many episodes I did, was done to strengthen my marriage, maybe even repair my marriage in the fragments that it is broken, and strengthen it to a place it's never been. He said, would that be worth it? Wow, what an incredible question. And I said, absolutely. So the truth is, I don't need to go viral. I need just one person to take away something from each episode, and I'll think that episode is meaningful and it was worth doing. So if you need to reconnect with a child or a grandchild or a friend or another relative or a neighbor or anyone that needs to know that you care about them and you're willing to forgive whatever has come between you, if you need to do that right now, make that phone call. Send that text. Let this episode be a freeing moment to recognize what's really important in life. And it's not me, myself, and I. It's actually others. That's what being Spud and a new grandpa has really brought to my mind and my attention. Let's recast ourselves back into the lives of the people that are most important to us. So my challenge this week is for you to slow down. Create one memory that will matter and that will matter later. Because grandkids and children just need our presence. They just need to know that we love them. They need our purpose. And I tell you, they need to know that you are there for them no matter what. So that's it. Thank you for listening to the Fibers of Life and Business. Keep weaving your fibers with intention. I am Spud Watkins, signing out.